Luperino. Nice, that works. Hey, Carbon, what's going on, bud? And I've got to do a live change so you guys can actually see. You'll actually have to see this in person. The live changes. Things that will be changing right now. I got to change the stat blocks, so those will not be there anymore. And we got to check out the Inspirato. Ah, yes, they've all moved anyway. So, I'm going to go ahead and hop in here real quick, and they can help me. Hey, guys!
Hey, yo, what's up?
Hey, I need to know which of you guys got inspiration.
Merry Christmas.
I would have to watch last week's VOD.
Yeah,
I
Okay.
don't remember.
So how many of you guys didn't have inspiration?
I think I had inspiration.
I think if you want to wipe the slate clean, that's fine by me, because I don't remember.
I won't argue.
Yeah, you don't have to. It's not something you have to worry about.
Alright, so then...
Or better yet, you can just go ahead and give us all inspiration.
Nope, they're all gone.
No, it's fine. It's all good.
Damn!
About it.
I took them all away.
Guys, really? With my rolls?
You'll be fine.
It just means we can't throw our inspirations at you instead of using them for ourselves.
Exactly. You don't need a safety net.
Oh, yes, I do.
I mean, my safety net yesterday or last week was literally a 1, so don't.
When my nickname is Critical Fail, I need it.
Alright, guys, give me just a second. I wanted to get this up sooner, but I didn't get all the assets right away, so forgive me.
No problem, man.
Oh, dear. How's it looking, though? Do you guys are you digging the overlay stuff?
I'm
liking the flame
The
effect
season
on
2 or chapter was it 6 change? Yeah, it looks fucking dope.
The chapter 2, season 6,
Yeah, no
Yeah,
shit.
chapter 6.
episode
season
24.
The longest fucking chapters, man. No joke. This is all original. Kirk actually, he did a lot of his hand painting himself, guys. So if you dig it, if you like the animations, if you enjoy what you see, remember to take a shout out at Kirk and tell him good job, because I gave him this information last week, so like 9 days ago, I think. And this is what he put together in 9 days. He's growing as a creator, and if you miss out on these opportunities, if you push aside his work, you're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss out on something kick-ass.
I gotta say, the flame effect on the skull definitely reminds me of something out of like Baldur's Gate or some other CRPG.
Yeah, it reminds me of that as well. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna stick with it. I thought for a moment I was like, I may have him rework that, but no, I'm pretty happy with it.
I love how Sloth, hashtag sniper is dead tonight.
I mean, yeah.
Why must he always be trying to kill me?
I mean, I think it's just you trying to kill yourself, and they're willing
I'm gonna
participants in the
clarify,
fact.
it's not hashtag kill Jacob.
No, it's Sniper.
Yeah, he just wants you dead. Nothing too strong.
Oh, are we on cam yet?
No.
No.
Okay, good.
Transparent.
It better not be trending wit.
Godzilla, stream related, tabletop
So
creations.
is Easter the 1st or no?
It's Sunday.
Sunday.
It is on the 1st.
It's,
Yeah, it is.
April
It's the
Fool's
first.
Day is Easter.
Okay. Weird.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
We at work we've been trying to unload all of our candy, so I've been judging how close it is to the holiday by how much shit we've been putting out.
Okay.
Or, a calendar. I mean, it seems like the obvious choice to me, but you do you, man.
Fucking killing me.
Cat. They've actually I'm no longer jumping from section to section.
You're no longer jumping from Sex and the City?
Yeah. It was a great show. I just jumped around to too many episodes. but they stopped. They've nailed me into a schedule where I show up every day.
They gave you a department?
6 to 1, grocery. The only days I don't work Thursday and Sunday. So like I have a schedule now. So literally all I do is I go to work and that's how it's like, all right, that's a day.
Oh God, I don't even want to talk schedules. We just did the shift bid for my job, and there is the possibility that I may get a really terrible schedule.
How terrible is terrible?
2 to 11.
That
That
could
was
be
so
rough.
bad that it made my headset fall off.
Yeah. So, pray guys. But yeah, because of my new job, my new position, I'm only bidding against like 65 other people, and I'm number 63 in the bid.
Yeah, because you just moved to the position, I assume.
I just moved to the position this year. My tenure sucks compared to everybody else, and
So you basically draw the short straw.
pretty much. I mean, the way we do our shift bids, it's 50% tenure, 50% performance, and because my tenure sucks, that automatically means I'm in the lower 30. And because this is a very high-performing group that I'm in, and I had some stumbling when I first got started. I mean, so far this year, starting from January 1st, I'm like number 30 in my work group, even with tenure. So I'm definitely doing a good job. But because of how everything, my numbers came out last year, I'm like
Fucking
third
hate
from last. And considering that,
Okay.
that there's a limited number of slots for different time periods, there's a strong possibility that I may end up working during stream.
All right, cams are up.
All right.
Who don't I have?
Ronald.
Me.
Yeah, whenever you get a chance.
Yep, I need you before I can set this up.
Okay.
He's playing League of Legends, so give him a bit.
League of Legongs.
I'm not playing League of Legends. Fuck.
Playing a much less mentally taxing game, aka Dark Souls.
Yes. Otherwise known as Land of Salt.
All right,
It's
guys.
not as bad as League,
since,
let me tell you that much.
since we have
And League is
everybody
fun.
here, let's go ahead and get a test in stream, if you guys could do so for me. Let's get a Kappa check. Like, I feel like we need a good old Kappa test. Do that for you, dude.
I was about to do the Goblin Vault Kappa check, but Eddie beat me to it.
I got you, fam.
That's not the right Kappa.
Oh
Not
shit,
the right
you're
Kappa
right.
either.
Damn.
Where's the Bubber Kappa?
Hey, Gondian, what's going on,
Hopefully
man?
never coming.
Welcome back, Uber Ghost. No, there's never going to be a Bub Kappa.
So overdone.
Yeah.
What if
There-
it's the monthly one?
There's actually going to be a Bubber Lol, though.
That one I'll take.
I'll have to see it to
I'll
decide
take it
how I
only,
feel about that one.
only so I can use LOL across all
Who am
Discord
I hearing
servers.
myself through?
Yes.
Probably you.
Not me.
Hang on. Testing?
You're hearing it through
Testing?
Xander.
Is it Xander?
It's
Okay.
yeah, it's coming through Xander's mic. All right.
Let me,
Well, that fucked everything up. So, I'm gonna do the screen edits real quick because everything
you still
has
hearing
shifted.
feedback?
I like having the broken piece.
Yeah, that's gonna be your stat blocks. It's gonna take me a minute to get those in, but yeah, those will be moving. So there's
But the time
Jacob.
being, it's like we've got a secondary cam that's just way lower.
See, everyone's
got
going to
two
be pissing because I'm no
cameras.
longer in the middle. That's what it is.
Just takes some time.
Yeah, there's been the complete rearrangement. I'm now
All these cameras,
now
I still
way on
can't
the
see why
left.
people hate me.
God damn it. I mean, I can tell you why. Sunn, Klaus, Jakob, Deia, there we go. Oh, you were in the fucking right spot. That's perfect. Metal fingers. You're not Klaus. Never will be. You're Sunn.
Tell you what, though, I am so happy that I managed to go ahead and shave the beard off today. It feels so good.
I meant to trim mine, but it's just gonna be unruly.
I'm looking forward to Friday so I can get my hair cut. Because I'm tired of this.
I'm looking forward to Friday because I have it off work.
This is
Real nice.
actually, it's getting long enough to where it pokes me in the eye now. So that's a plus.
What the fuck?
Big bonus there.
Yeah, no shit.
I can almost live the emo hair dream.
Yeah, you're looking real 2007 tonight.
Like I just needed a little bit longer.
I can expect people coming in here in this room like, whoa, who's that? Is that the guy from Bowling for Soup?
Oh, dear God.
The bassist, not the singer.
Yeah.
Hey, he did lose. In his defense, he lost a bunch of weight. Okay.
Has he? I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah, he has. He's lost a ton of weight. All right. So I know I'm forgetting something, but what the fuck am I forgetting?
Aside from the stat blocks.
I mean, I know that I've got to do the stat blocks. Open original fucking save image as.
Dude, we don't need no stat blocks. The black bars say it all. Wakanda.
I actually,
Jesus
Aaron, I've
Christ.
actually been listening to a lot of that type of
You're
music.
fucking
so.
ridiculous.
I was telling Steven, I was like, dude, Steven, I was like, you woke now? He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, you haven't seen it? I was like, all the athletes are doing the Wakanda salute for like a symbol of like pride and all that stuff. I was like, it's dope, man. We should do that. And he's like, no, we are not doing that. I was like, dude, where's your dashiki at? Where's it? He's like, I don't know what the fuck that is. I was like, it's the black equivalent of a suit. It was like, there's a European style suit, which is, you know, the business attire we see now, and then the dashiki. Come on, Steven, for Wakanda.
You messaged me on Discord? Sloth, yeah. Yes, they are. Sirio. Let's see. Sirio, I'll write back to you a little bit later. I'll have to write back to you a bit later. So, I'm not going to worry about the plates tonight, just because it's going to be a lot of extra work. I'm expecting, like, at least a half an hour of those name plates. But, for each of you...
One thing I never expected to see from me.
For each of you guys, if you're, if you can recall, on your original nameplate, it said like a certain quip or a certain title. Like Deia's was the Purifier of the Unholy. Jared was like the Forlorn Skellering, or Fitzskellering. If you guys could come up with something like that, or something that you feel like is better fitting to your title, I would be okay with putting that on there, so long as it fits.
Go with the Smash Champion.
The Smash Champion. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
play a lot of Smash.
All right. Well, apparently there's going to be an open spot in the campaign.
Can I play?
No.
Shit, okay.
Negative.
I tried to jump on it. I guess I was just not accepted.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and change the music. I'm already tired of hearing the lava bubbling. Deia is the holy seducer. Yeah. Perfect. Ambiance. I don't think you know what? We can just put that on there. Sure, that's not the worst thing that I've heard today. Jacob, chaotic, stupid.
Thank you.
I think I said Jacob was not chaotic, stupid. I think that's what I actually said. So let's move this here. So
No, I think you said chaotic stupid is not a real alignment.
Yeah.
What the fuck's the camera doing in my face? Why do it look so smooth?
Yeah, mine. I feel like I have a Snapchat filter on.
Now your face matches your tongue.
That's weird. It's very strange.
Yeah, that was a little above. That was a little over the top.
I mean, we want to talk about over the top, friend.
Alrighty. Since we're all here and we got cameras on, you want to start?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna be working on some stuff in the meantime, but you guys can recap.
Alrighty. So picking up from last week, the battle inside the tip tankard began. We were fighting the. Oh my god, these things had some weird ass names. The boat. Bao.
Anybody can.
Bao.
The Babaus,
Bao.
yes.
I want to say
They were some very gooey looking and very acidic skinned demons that had shown up in the tankard, and seeing as we had caught on to them, their presence being there, on top of the fact that they revealed themselves, we took it upon ourselves to dispatch said evil within the tavern. Battle ensued, and we were slowly getting overrun by the Baobaos, and at one point we were getting essentially like pushed into a smaller and smaller circle near the table.
Yes.
I don't know if anyone wants to kind of go through their experience with the fight, but I'll start my portion off. Where,
Sure, go for it.
I ended up taking on roughly 2 to 3 of them to hold them off, and I ended up giving our party a pretty decent buff, +3 armor to everyone. So it gave us some protection, preventing a lot of attacks that would have gone through, making a miss in the end because of that blessing. So we ended up having a pretty good party buff with that. Outside of that, I couldn't really heal the group effectively, just because it would either be heal everyone, including the Baobaos, or try to finish them off and dispatch them as soon as possible, and then heal everyone later. So I went with the second option.
I wanted to just interject briefly for a moment. I'm setting up the stat blocks so I can begin working on them later, and I immediately went to Sunn for the first, and I've been naming each of them their own individual asset. So it's something block, and the first one on screen is Sunn, so it's just Sunn block. And that just made me giggle. I don't know why. It was definitely worth it.
Give them an SPF stat.
Keep going. Keep going.
But yeah, I ended up cutting down one of them, and then the other 2 were dispatched by Deia and Jared. But jumping from that end, I guess I'll toss it over to Will to explain his part of the combat.
Yosh.
So I became basically every 80s karate movie star. I firmly planted my foot in the chest of a Baobao, which really isn't that easy because there's nothing firm about them. But I planted my foot on his chest because he was way too close to me, and I backflipped off of him onto the table and then screamed at him really loudly, and it sent him back against the wall.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. What else happened? What was this like for Jakob? Man, it was interesting for
Bloody.
Jakob.
I think we should finish with
bloody.
Jacob.
Okay, all right, sure. Well, we'll finish with Jakob then. So, Deia, what did this fight look like with you then?
Well, primarily, I had seen the one that was starting to summon its own friends, and I started to fire arrows, but I noticed that they weren't really sinking home. They just kind of pierced and went through into the other side. And
Yeah.
got ruined by the acid on their skin.
Yes.
And as they came closer, I decided to switch off my bow into a longsword. And being a paladin, it was a lot easier for me to fight these things than probably most of the other guys. But I cut down a couple, and then that was the most of my combat.
Yeah. Sunn, how about you?
I became Groot,
Oh?
and then I stood in the same square for the entire combat, fighting 2 of them, distracting them with my non-fleshy body.
I don't necessarily think you were fighting them as much as you were taking the dick.
Like I said, I just kind of sat there and just kind of, they didn't kill me. They missed more attacks than they hit on me. So I just kind of sat there and just distracted 2 of them with my, like I said, with my non-fleshy body.
So when you say I became
I had
Groot,
a
you
30
became
AC.
wood. You just got wood, left, right, center, just dicking.
Yeah, I jumped from a 16 AC to a 30, very casually. So I stood there and was like, "Hey, I'm a tree. You can't really hurt me." And they proceeded to try to hurt me, but then Ronald made it so they didn't hurt me. It was a great time.
It was a great time. Everyone laughed. Sunn cried.
Yeah,
It was good.
the other depiction of how this fight went, I was covered in tree parts on the floor in the fetal position.
Sure.
As they were kicking me in the gut. That's pretty much how it went.
Okay.
It was a gang initiation, is what he's saying.
Basically, I was trying to join the 3rd Street Not
Third,
Twigs.
the Third Street Twigs. Get the
The
fuck
Third
outta here.
Street Strokes.
Trying to get into Grove Street.
What do you have to say for yourself, initiate? Breakfast. That's it. That's all he's got.
Almost bloodshed, man.
And yeah, that was my life.
Poor fella.
Then Jared would be the next one.
Jacob.
Jacob gets to round out the combat.
All right, and as far as the combat goes, Jacob was nowhere near as effective as he was hoping to be. He was trying to go ahead and throw every kind of spell he could through his sword, and it was just all going tits up. So as they began being clustered in upon and pushed closer and closer together for the final gangbang that was about to occur, in kind of a rush, he just kind of decided to go balls in and brought ethereal tentacles from another plane to go ahead and start taking down locking down some of these creatures. And he made a teeny tiny massive mistake in that he apparently didn't keep ranges in mind and may have killed a couple of cauldron citizens, but luckily enough, they were bailed out. Their bacon was saved when this dark wizard figure came in, rose his staff, and just pulled out just a flat-out Gandalf the White, just gone! The tentacles went away, the demons went away, everything was just cleared, and we were all just left standing there, pretty much holding our dicks going, what was that?
I feel like there's some inaccuracies in on how you guys felt, but I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm picking it up.
Guess jumping off of that, after the old wizard that we later found out his name was Corophon.
Yes.
He used a very, very powerful version of displacement. Not displacement.
Dismissal.
Very good.
Dismissal.
Yeah, dismissal.
He used a very powerful version of dismissal on a black scroll that banished every one of the Baobabs back to their native planes. It wasn't until that happened that we realized that the tavern was in disarray, there was loss of life, and that we found out shortly after that Griffin's son, not Jimothy, it was, oh my gosh, his name.
Anybody can help?
It was Jimothy, wasn't it? Elliot was the other one?
The
one that got grabbed by the tentacle was
that
Jimothy.
was the younger one. It was Jimothy.
Yeah.
Elliot was
Okay,
the
so
older brother.
Yeah. Okay, so Jimothy was the one that
Yes.
was unfortunately who had fallen victim to the collateral damage of the combat. And
Totally not my fault.
Definitely your fault.
Totally.
seeing as Griffin was a dear friend to the group, and the fact that it was a child that Ulhime seemed that it wasn't his place to go, decided to step in and call for some divine help. He ended up using summon planar ally and striking a bargain with the representative sent by his deity or by a celestial being. It was to withdraw the death from Griffin's son, but in return, because the spell components were not there, he himself would have to draw that death onto himself. And as a result, Jimothy was resurrected, but now Ulhime has taken in that death and now has a time limit to, in a sense, pay the material cost back within 1 week, or he himself will suffer the death of Jimothy. He will take his place.
All that off a celestial mouse. Imagine what would have happened if he'd managed to summon a celestial gerbil.
You're ridiculous.
Going on from there,
Fucking
it was clear that that Jacob was mortified by what had happened, the collateral damage that he caused, and as such, kind of moved himself away from the immediate area. Klaus and Deia, even inspecting Jimothy before the resurrection took place, confirmed that he was indeed dead, and are now unsure as to what happened, or at least what transpired to bring him back to life, or at least make him appear okay. Ulhime then went to go check on Jacob and told him not to worry about it, that we did lose some of the guards, but the kid is okay, and Jared was still torn up for the fact that he had hurt a child. That was never his intention, and it was hard for him to grasp the mistake that he made on that.
Right. It was challenging. It was something that became a problem specifically for the character. So it seems like we're kind of drawing a very specific type of relationship between these two, and I think it's something that everybody can see. Right? It's clear that Jacob and Ulhime have a relationship that pre-exists before the Flurry came into contact. That being said, I think it's going to make for an interesting round out here within this group. I think you guys are going to find a way to bring Ulhime and Jacob to the forefront, and it may actually spill over. It may start to kind of like weave there into each of you. So take that for what it is.
Well, I mean, it does help that me and Ulhime are kind of poly, so.
Oh,
Yeah,
God. Oh, God. So is there anything that I missed there?
Jacob isn't fully aware of what's happening to Ulhime. He does see the fact that his eyes have become opaque. Is that the correct word? When it's like glossy, mist it over. Yeah, it's his Ulhime's eyes, which were black before, have now this opaque film over it, and then you can see that there's a series of black veins running into his neck. But Ulhime assured him that it was essentially part of Helm's plan, that this is a test for him, and it's nothing that he needs to worry about.
Right. It's something that he needs to worry about. But, like, this is real, though. Like, this is a real ominous threat here. It's not like, oh, I'll be okay. No, like, it literally means that you could die.
Correct.
Your character could die.
Yes.
And that's scary. That's a real problem. Because I don't want to see Ulhime die. I don't want to see Jacob die. I don't want to see anything like that happen. So, you guys have been asked to go to a place. What is this place called?
We are going to Occipitus.
Annie, why are you going to Occipitus?
We're going to Occipitus because the Justice Tsar of Saren Ray told us that we should seek it out. And that's the main reason I'm going, because we're not fully sure what holds there, but we know that there's a war between good and evil. There's trials that we need to go and fix.
Right. But, like, why? Like, what makes that such, set a new precedent? Like, why is that important now? I mean, you literally just have one of the players like, I'm gonna die in a week if we don't figure this out, and then you're like, let's go to hell.
Can I answer that?
Go for it.
Okay, so there is a either some sort of landmass or structure that's in Occipitus that was part of a prophecy known as the Smoking Eye.
Okay.
From that, we were told by Korapon, who we later found out was actually a demon,
Wait,
Uh,
hold on. Hold on.
Yes.
Is he actually a demon? Not. I want to keep passing this around here. Is he actually a demon red? Yeah, that's you, Austin. You are red.
I think he's trying to unmute himself.
I don't know. I'm sorry. For once, I was completely lost. I was lambasting Sloth. I'm
For
sorry.
once.
For once.
I will completely admit I was.
Hold on. I'll pass this. I'll pass this to another individual here. I wanna make sure everybody gets lively with this. So, Sniper, what is Corophon?
He's a bit like Jacob. He's just a sort of tiefling.
Sort of.
He's got a lot more demonic ancestry in his background, but he claims that he is just like Jacob. He's kind of a tiefling, only more so demon than human.
Okay. Do we actually know what his race is?
I do believe it was mentioned, but I'm not seeing that note.
Does anybody know?
I don't recall. I know he
I think Danny
mentioned
knows.
he mentioned being sort of victim of unfortunate circumstance, and that his father, I believe it was his father,
Is he a half fiend?
He's a
supposed-
half fiend.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Right.
He's a half fiend. Yeah, and fiends they're fucking nasty. They are
Fiendish.
nasty little buggers. Guys, if you didn't know, the tweet is out, and I would love to see each of you guys go out and retweet this. Let's smash a viewer tonight, right? Like, I want to smash this number. Easy.
Let's choose our phrasing a little more carefully.
I mean, I'll smash a viewer too. I'm gonna pick one. Let's
I mean, don't get me wrong. You probably have a lot of volunteers for a smashing, but
I'm gonna take Rangorf. No,
You,
I'm probably
you-
gonna smash Sloth.
You picked a damn good gif. Let me just tell you that.
I thought it was a good gif. Go ahead and share that out, guys. Let everybody know. And if you're going to retweet it, tag Paizo and be like, hey, love on this guy. Oh my god, speak of the devil and he shall enter. That's him.
Oh, she.
Oh, so we have to fight him? Is that like
Yeah.
I mean,
We're fighting
trial by
Paizo?
combat?
Cannonfod, thank you so much for that host. I appreciate that. What's going on? Official Paizo, speak of the devil and he shall enter. How's it going, man? Tonight, my players are going to the abyss. They're going to the abyss. Cannonfod, thank you so much for the raid, brother. I appreciate that. Bringing them in super hot fire. It feels good. I hope everything went well in Reno. I hope your playtest for Second Ed is going smashingly. Feel free to fire me back a message anytime that is convenient to you, brother. I appreciate that. In due time, fans, friends, let's continue with this. So you met Corophon, the half fiend. He said, "I need you to go do a thing for me
Yes.
in hell.
Yes.
Actually, like legitimately in hell."
And
And
you
you're
just
like-
casually go take it over.
But like why? Like why go there? And he's like,
It would help.
we want you to go ahead and accept the challenge because I'm not strong enough to do it on my own. But hey, you guys look handy, and yeah, I'm
You know,
not going to
the
go ahead and try and double cross you in the end.
Yeah,
Never.
it's kind of like, well, the current leader's kind of a dick. If I can't stop it, if you could go there, take care of it, then I can become the leader.
And I
Cool.
think that there's something about there is a group down in the plane of hell, this plane of hell that we're going to, that are behind all of these demon summonings. And
Kidraids.
and the reason that we have to go is to stop them from sending these demons after us in the city.
Sure.
So as a way of defending the city, we instead go to them.
Okay, so how is going there helping you here exactly? Because like, wouldn't you just stay on your own turf to want to fight these demons?
Because the demons are being sent towards one of us specifically, I believe.
Okay.
And if we are there, the demons
just
are
gonna
being
keep
sent
coming in.
after
Yeah.
us.
Basically, take the fight there rather than have it come here, where it can slaughter innocent.
Yes, the best
Yeah.
defense is a good offense. I mean, as far as Jacob's concerned, the reason he's going is because he knows Ulhime's going, and he feels a great debt at the moment. That's like the long and short of his motivation right now.
Sunn still is undetermined in his motivation for wanting to go.
Does he feel any like dedication at all? Is there?
He feels the dedication of friendship, but at the same time, he wanted to come to Cauldron to open a shop, and now he has seen his life flash before his eyes, literally, when he died and was brought back to life, and now he just fought demons in the tavern, and now he's being asked, "Hey, can you go topple the regime in hell, real quick?"
The end of the world.
So-
and he knows it.
So
Why-
he's trying to.
Why can't he? I mean,
Why-
if he's strong enough to just be like, Beelzebubeth quirat Kekanafanon, and then everything just like disappears from this realm, why doesn't he just do that? Right? Like what's
You can't disperse something from the realm
Yeah,
to its
back
realm.
back home to where they
And
are,
he also has tried.
and failed.
So he's working his best to try and seek a party strong enough to defeat this realm.
How did he find you?
By coming to the Tip Tankard to have a nice ale for the day, and unfortunate circumstance of luck.
No.
Yeah, I feel like you actually like you graduated from the school of bullshittery, and
He actually
honestly
failed out of the school of bullshittery. Really bad at it.
I tried bullshitting the teacher, it just didn't work.
Signed the syllabus, never came back.
Oh, it's so good, so good. Okay, so really though, like how, like, who? I'm gonna leave this in the ball court of Deia. Yenny, help me out here. Help me understand.
From my understanding, he devoted his life to trying to complete these trials that he failed in doing so long ago, and so he was spoken to by, I don't recall who, but he knew that there was someone capable of defeating progressing through the trials. I guess you don't win a trial. Anyways, he heard that there was someone capable, and so he devoted to trying to seek them out. And
then when they were dead, we were the next choice.
yeah, we were the runner-up.
Okay, all right. So, do you think that you're the only group that he sent down here?
I doubt it.
You doubt it?
I think
But-
we're the group that's going to succeed,
He-
but I don't
he
think we're
sent
the
down-
only ones.
We're going to be the last group to go down.
He
That
told
doesn't
us the
mean
group that he
we're the only
sent, and I can't remember their name.
Did he?
Yeah,
recall
you
that.
talking about the cave rights or something like that?
Yeah.
No, the cage rights are the ones that are pulling the strings. And
He told you guys
Yeah.
a little bit about the cage rights. So what are they up to? What pretend as if I've never been here before. Hit me with it. Give me the deets.
so they're, as I understand it from his explanation, they're sort of behind the scenes pulling strings as the nobles, as they were referred to before.
They're the Illuminati of Shackled City.
Sort of, but also sort of not. They're a little bit more in the public eye than that. But still, they're pulling strings behind the scenes in Cauldron. They're believed to be behind the summonings that have been going on, the demonic summonings. And didn't he also mention that they had a part to play in this whole Occipitus deal, where they were benefiting from it being under demonic control?
Well, you guys have seen, you've seen first and foremost that he has some understanding and some knowledge when it comes to dismissal and basically realm transportation, that kind of thing. He just read a scroll and then everything went back to its home location. And he said that he was picked up by the Cagerites because they wanted his knowledge of this particular school of magic. So it's reason to believe at this point that he's probably doing something, right? Like, he's probably got something going on behind the scenes with that, or at least he did. But he left. Why exactly? What reason did he give?
He didn't like what they were doing with it. Isn't that like he wasn't a fan of I think like he didn't feel like it was using the most of him, kind of thing. Like it was lesser than what he should be doing.
Kind of. That's not quite the reason that he gave. It's very similar to that. Ronald, can you recall why?
Not 100%, but it was somewhere along those lines where it, like he didn't mind being used for a certain purpose, but it was more of he didn't mind that they were using him to meet a certain means.
Okay.
It was the overall methodology of how they were doing it. Like it was I don't remember if it was more because it was like of how underhanded it was, but it was essentially that's what it came down to, was the methodology of how they were getting it done. He didn't like.
Yeah. He basically said, like, there's something that is really wrong here, and it didn't align with his goals anymore. He said it was becoming too taxing to stay along for this ride. So
the means didn't justify the end.
Exactly. So he left. That being said, this is where you guys are now.
Yes.
I feel like I'm going to go ahead and open this up now. Since we have introduced the new characters, I am going to start allowing quirks again back into the game, as long as they don't completely cripple the characters. Some of these things will have to be pre-approved. And I think I'm going to remove the idea of permanent quirking. I don't like it. I don't like how strong it has an effect on the game. And as a clever way of removing it...
As Karami fucking donates for a perma.
That happened.
Go figure.
Yep, that happened.
He got it just under the line.
Man, if ever there was an argument for there being somebody in control of all this mess we call the universe, comedic timing is one of them.
Yeah, no joke. First and foremost, I want to see what he's trying to put in. Roleplay 15.
Roleplay 15.
Well, let me go ahead and pull up this rep table, because looks
He
like he's
doesn't
throwing
trust
it at me.
people who can't remember their name.
That's a pretty funny quirk.
You know what? I'm going to make it happen.
Why do I got the
gonna
feeling
counter
that
it,
the
Jared?
only reason he's doing this is because he's going to purposely screw up somebody remembering his name?
Maybe.
What was your name again? Demon Child?
He's gonna give the
What
rest
the
of
fuck
us
did you say?
amnesia.
You don't
Permanent amnesia.
Maybe. That could be it. Or he could, and follow me on this one, he could just be looking out for you. He could just honestly just be like, I don't want to see him have to worry about his controlling and impulsive mother ever again.
Oh, dear God, yes. No, I will take that quirk.
There are worse things.
I'm hoping that everyone likes this character enough that they don't put these weird RP quirks on.
So we're going to run with this by approval process for the time being. By approval process. So, for those of you that want to make some shenanigans happen, which we've experienced in the past, but we'll make do. We will move forward. Yeah. So, thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for putting in that huge rep, man. That was huge. It was huge. 40K, man. Guess what? You're stuck with it. You don't trust people that can't remember your name or their name. Wild magic on Klaus.
Let's just not say we did.
He's been subject to that. He's been subject to that a lot. Christy, what's going on? Let's see what we got.
Well, I think that kind of falls under the breaking the character. I mean, that's personally speaking what I want to go ahead and say about it.
Hand a Sirius to Ulhime, please. Guess what? You got yourself a Sirius potion, sir.
Cool. Thank you.
Does it come with XM and FM?
It's 3D 3D8? No.
Sirius is 3D8. Yeah, it's 3D8 plus 5.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going ahead and giving the ticking time bomb a healing potion.
Hey. There are worse things. There are worse things. All right, guys, if you have not, make sure that you check the Twitter and get that tweet out. We want to get as many people behind this as possible. Thank you so much, Wiley and Christy, for those retweets, as well as Lame Duck Dodgers. I appreciate that, bud. Paizo, get your crit fails. Hot piping crit fails. That's good. I'm here, but where's Paizo at? Thank you so much, Soph. You guys are great. All the retweet love is kind. I appreciate it, guys. Let's make it happen. Let's kick this pig. All right. So I know specifically Ronald said that he wanted to start this off before you guys went to sleep that night. He specifically had some roleplay that he wanted to get into, and
I think we were still at the table.
Yes.
Yeah,
we were still trying. Yeah, well, we convened, but I don't think we ever agreed on if we were all going.
Well,
yet.
we were sitting at the table, and our guest of honor was just departing.
Yeah, we adjourned the meeting because it was one of those, like, if you don't want to go, say something now, and no one said anything, so we're like, all right, we're in accord, so that's what's happening. So I just escorted, if I remember correctly, I just escorted Coraphon to his room. Well, I actually gave him my room. I gave up my room so that way he could have a room to stay in. And I was making my way back down to the first floor, so that way I could start fixing up the building with a large portion of make hole spells.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, while that's going on, or before that, I guess I actually come back down. I'm gonna head into Jacob's room, and since we're, I guess, spending the night, I'm gonna be sharing his room. I'll remove my armor, so just I'm in my regular traveler's clothes, and I'll start doing repairs and stuff on the tavern once I get down there. But before that, I want to head over to Sunn and talk to him if he's still at the bar. That is.
Yeah, Sunn would be downstairs drinking quite solemnly by himself, a bit deep in thought.
Oh, wow. Thanks, man. I mean, I'm sitting here right next to you, having a cup of wine, too.
Okay, never mind.
I'll tell you what, we'll both be sitting alone in our thought.
What's your name again?
Racist fuck.
That's good.
I had assumed that you were up in the room with Ulgrim.
Ulgrim?
We're gonna have
Ulgrim.
that room together all night long.
If there
We're
was
gonna be
Ulhime.
if there was ever a person to get struck with that quirk, it's fucking Austin, man. He could barely remember Klaus after 100 episodes.
Okay, I have not gotten that one wrong. That is one that I have nailed consistently.
No, this is just an
Because
excuse.
Will doesn't change characters every other fucking
Please
6
don't
weeks.
talk about nailing me
No.
consistently. God. I don't want to go there.
No, here's what I'm going to do to go ahead and make this quirk worthwhile. When people keep calling me Jared, Jacob's going to be like, who's Jared? Why are you calling me Jared? Are you a spy?
Well, be prepared because your DM's gonna do it a couple times too.
If you want Sniper, you can do your RP with Sunn if that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, seeing as Ulhime is going upstairs, handing away one of our rooms, because, he's a nice guy like that, fixing the floors, maybe putting a little spit polish on that. Yeah, Jacob's going to kind of glance over at Sunn, and he's going to just kind of bump elbows real quick. Penny, for your thoughts on what happened?
He's gonna, after the long sigh, he's gonna pound back the rest of his drink, signal to Griffin, get another one, and then... I don't know why I'm here. The other day I was walking through a forest to start a new life in a town, and now I'm fighting demons and apparently assaulting the gates of hell. Frankly, I'm not sure what to make of this.
I can definitely see where you're coming from there. It's been a rather active week for me too. I mean, get out of jail, got to go ahead and pick up some great heroes' bones, find out that some old fart that you're traveling around with is some mythological mythological character from wizarding history. Yeah, and the demons, that was a little bit rough. I mean, I will admit, it's been a very active week.
I
But
was attacked by a dragon.
that's a new one. I'll admit.
Not a small. It was an adult white dragon, and I saw it kill one of my friends.
To be fair, never met a dragon before, so you kind of have me beat there. But if you don't mind me asking, I know you kind of somewhat agreed to do this thing. I mean, I can definitely see where the old fart's concerned. He's seems to be genuinely concerned about the demon thing. The chick with the bow, she's kind of like Ulhime in that way, just assault the gates of evil, blah 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 blah. But I already kind of noticed during that hubaloo, you're not really used to doing all this, are you?
No, I am.
I mean,
I'm a
I saw
healer.
I saw you doing your number on the people behind the bar, and that seemed more your shtick.
I am first and foremost a healer by trade. I've been a healer all my life, and I resort to violence as a backup if needed.
So you're a bit of a pacifist.
I'm not afraid of using violence. I would rather not. And with the tasks lately, it seems inevitable.
Well, I mean,
There seems to never be the peaceful.
rumor has it that from all the reports Mr. Skellerang's been throwing around, that you guys actually ran into a proper demon. Like, better, much, much different than what we ran into tonight.
Have you heard of Naptatorin?
Despite my looks, I'm not on a first name basis with most demons, so...
I hadn't heard of him before the beginning of the week. He was the original demon general that had assaulted the city. Something of a legend, go figure. And he's gonna take another sip.
So, in 1 week, you've run into 2 legends, a dragon, a friend of yours died.
Would you like to believe most of this happened in the same room? And he's gonna have a single tear shed down. And I died. And I'm still here.
That's quite the constitution. You came back. You look better. No, you look great.
I saw that. I saw Deia. Her insides boiled, shifted inwards, and her skin was replaced with her internal organs. And then, in a matter of seconds, it was reversed again. I'm a man of medicine, and I've...
At this point, Jacob's going to kind of like reach over and just give his wrist a squeeze and kind of glance towards Griffin and just ixnay on the wine yay.
You really don't understand Pig Latin at all, do you?
But Master Sunn, I understand. This sounds like it's been a very emotional week for you, but I think that kind of drives home my point. Why are you here? I mean, this is a dangerous line of work. I know. I've lived it my entire life, almost, and I suppose I should say I know my motivation here. I know why I'm doing this. One, I'm greedy. It's part of my nature to want to know more about these things. And I have my own reasons for being curious. But, I also have a companion whose intention is to go ahead and fulfill these duties towards good and just. The wizard that you're traveling with, he seems almost born to this kind of life. And, well, a paladin's a paladin is a paladin. So maybe you should take a moment and look inside. A lot has happened to you that would drive most normal people mad. And I can certainly say, at least from my side of things, somebody to mend the wounds on the road is more valuable than a pocket full of gold. But if you are going to agree to go into this thing with us, I think you should definitely search your heart and see if this is the right thing for you to do. I mean, after all, you said that your sole intention was to come to the city to be a healer. What drives you, what would drive you to do more? I mean, don't just say friendship. We're going to risk our lives, and to be honest, we're assaulting hell. The likelihood of success is not high.
Sunn is going to roll up his sleeve, facing Jared. Do you see this? Do you...
Are you a cuck? No, it's by law you have to tell me if you're a cuck.
I'd have to tell you.
Holy shit, that's a callback. Nobody's gonna get that, but it's fine.
Hold on.
Oh God.
Hold on.
I had to ruin it. I'm sorry.
Oh fuck.
Deep breath. Come on.
Jacob, do you see this clean patch of skin here?
It definitely looks like an arm.
He's going to he's basically gonna go up and down. He's gonna say, I used to have a scar here. It was something that reminded me of my brother. It was one of the last times that I ever saw him is when I got this scar. My brother and me were inseparable for the longest time. There's the part of me that says he wouldn't want me to stay in the city and to become stagnant and just settle as some healer. If these demons do come through and they come attack the people, more will die. That is obvious, and it would be selfish of me to just sit here and not want to try to save those that are not going to be able to handle this, no matter how anyone faces it. But there's still the part of me that just doesn't want to do it. He was always the stronger brother, and I don't even have the scar to remember him by.
And Jacob's gonna grab his wrist and kind of put a hand around his back and grip onto his shoulder. Master Sunn, this is your life we're talking about. If a man has any right to be selfish about anything, it's his life. If you feel that your purpose is better fulfilled by being here and tending to the sick, that's a noble cause. But keep in mind, you're not your brother. And while you might not have this anymore, and he'll just gonna rest his hand over where his scar was before, do remember that that's just the physical. I've no idea what happened. I mean, it sounds like you were blessed by the divine, if we're being honest. You say that you've died and you've come back. You've been given more than most men could ever dream. A second chance. A chance to see what your ultimate destiny is. And if your destiny says that it's to end in a city mending the wounds of the poor, or getting drunk here every night, that's your destiny, and it's for you to choose. But I will say this. If you feel like your destiny is to go ahead and pick up where your brother left off, if you feel that is your purpose, can you think of any other, any better way to spend your time than by saving a city from hell?
Sunn is just he's gonna put his hand with the opposite one of Jakob like this, and you're just gonna see teardrops trickle into the beer.
Oh, that's such a waste. Jacob's just gonna kind of like reach around, push the beer aside, and then just go back to patting his back. It's okay. It's a lot to ask of somebody to do this kind of thing, but it is a noble pursuit, just as anything else. And I will say this. I can't speak for your companions. I can't speak for the wizard or the paladin. But I will say that if you do come, my companion and I will do our utmost to defend you. We will do our best to make sure that you can come back with the answers that you're seeking, if this is the life for you. That's all we can promise.
Sunn's going to drop his hand, grab the mug by the handle, and he's going to raise it up to Jakob.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and lift up his mostly finished wine, give it a shake, and just kind of...
He's going to toss it back, straight up back, and then... All right.
Good. Sounds like you have something to think about tonight. I'll see you in the morning, hopefully.
Yeah. Then Sunn's going to push himself up from the bar. He's gonna walk across the counter, get his room from Griffith, and then walk upstairs.
Ulhime, you said specifically
Yes.
that you had something that you wanted to cover.
Yes.
More so than just gathering your belongings and preparing for the trip ahead. What does this look like?
So, as I make my way down, I can see, I would say at this point, it's kind of like getting ready to want to talk to Sunn, but I can already hear kind of Jakob kind of covering the ground on what they want to talk about.
Right.
So he kind of walks around the table, and then, like I said, the first hour or two, he's repairing the damage that's been done to the tavern. So, I would say I spend an hour prepping my spells, and then the next hour after that is doing all the repairs. After that time, I'm gonna check on Griffin and his son, which I'm assuming at this point he's probably already taking them up to his room for like rest and stuff.
You said Jacob?
That he's taken. No, that Griffin's taken his son up to his room to get like rest and stuff, right? Like he's...
Yeah, their rooms are separated. It's
Okay.
not too like they don't go upstairs. Theirs is an offshoot from the kitchen. You guys wouldn't go back there, so that's not necessarily where you would be or where you'd even be allowed to be.
All right. So yeah, walking over, I'll call over for Klaus and Deia to sit down.
In the meantime, Jacob's going to glance over to Ulhime and gesture with his cup off towards the stairs.
Gives him a nod.
Strange fellow, strange fellow, that Sunn.
Indeed, but you did good. You did good.
Remind me later to go ahead and tell you about the kind of week he's had.
Will do, friend. Enjoy your night. And
Jacob, so are you going upstairs alongside?
No.
Or
He's still sitting at the table waiting for Deia and Klaus to come over.
Prior to me heading over, I would have aided Griffin with the kid, trying to help him back to a bed somewhere where he's not laying on the floor, and also try and see to his arm if I can aid it in any way, because I know he's got some pretty bad damage to it. See if I can divine intervention the I don't even know what it is, some kind of demonic taint that's in his arm. See if I can help him out with it.
Over Griffin?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you're kind of aware of the fact that it's not really like a lingering magic anymore. It's just like it's bruising. And this is one of those things that that you can heal so much, but you got to kind of let time do its job.
I just wanted more or less just to help him out, so that when he's trying to take care of his son, that he's not feeling more pain than he should.
Sure. Then at this case, it's more along the lines of you just kind of telling him to relax his arm, give him kind of like a sling of sorts, that kind of thing. But it's mostly going to fall to Elliot to help take care of his dad and his brother.
Yeah.
As it stands, taking Jimothy out and one arm of Griffin, it has neutered the capability of the tavern. Now, they have funds to fall back on, but at this point, there is another minor problem that you guys should probably consider, which is the fact that now there is this the rumor that's going to cycle around about demons appearing in the Tip Tankard.
Fuck, I'm going to be getting the fat end of that one.
Yeah, it's not as important as going to hell and saving that layer of the abyss, but this is obviously like, it's a place of comfort, right? Like, you don't shit where you sleep.
Yeah.
So in this case, there have been dead people, guards, everyone's going to be talking about this, and you don't want them to fall on hard times. Sure, they can take care of themselves, but in the meantime, a couple of the night workers were injured. A few of the regular patrons were killed. They're going to be kind of falling on a little bit of a hard time. Like, they're going to have a lack there of work. So that's something to consider as well. If it's, do you go and start like planning a party? Maybe there's something that you guys want to put on, something like that, to kind of draw attention back to the bar and put it back into the perfect view of a positive alignment, something that's good to draw people back in. Because as it stands, the Tip Tankard may as well have just been set on fire and like burned to the ground.
I mean, I can conjure food and stuff, so.
But it's
in
like
terms
that's.
of,
I'm just like, I'm bringing that to the surface.
I get you. Well, I guess while Deia's doing that, then while she's attending to Griffin and Jimothy and Elliot, I'll ask Klaus to sit down so that way I can talk to him.
Mm-hmm. And before being asked to be seated, Klaus would have probably been trying to help Ulhime and repairing around the bar and doing as much as I can to sort of mitigate the damage that's been wreaked upon this place.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm using, like I said, I'm magically repairing, like essentially all the shit that's broken. So if Klaus is helping me with that, then that'll cut down on a lot of the time, I guess.
Right.
But once we do that, Ulhime kind of pulls up one of the chairs and stuff that's been broken in the corner.
So you guys are just using mend, right?
I'm using make whole.
I'm using mending though. And
okay.
then
What does make whole do?
make whole. Let's see, it's gonna be.
It's like
mending on steroids.
It's the 100 cubic feet thing, right?
Yeah.
What is
25 plus 5 per level.
Okay, so basically the way that mending and this works is it may have a casting time, but it's like picture that the Mickey is a wizard thing where it's like, what is it, Fantasia?
Yeah.
Where things just kind of start going back into place. But it takes time, right? He casts the spell, but it took so long for it to happen. It may be a standard action for you to cast the spell, but it only lasts so long, and you kind of have to keep maintaining it. It may actually be easier for you guys to contact the local carpenters and pay them. It's not going to be expensive, at least comparably to the finances that you guys have, to replace much of the stuff here. But you know that mending and casting the spell, this make whole, it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of time compared to the amount of damage that's here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be trying to cast mending for, repairing the entire bar, but just like the most glaring of issues and things that could potentially harm people that need to move through the area. Try to get those patched up, and then we can get in contact with the carpenters later on down the line.
Sounds good. Ulhime, you're aware of this as well. Like you can be at this all night long, and though you know you're capable of doing it, you will wear yourself out. And you know that you need to be at your best you're going to hell, right? Like you can't wear yourself out. You can't devoid yourself of sleep. But you still have intentions of catching a conversation with the rest of these guys.
Yeah. I would say in that case, at the very least, I'm at least going to repair the wall that was blown out.
Let's put it this way. You just yanked a young boy from the jaws of death. Stop showing off.
I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. You have done your part. And you know that maybe you're the kind of guy that like me, when I'm stressed or frustrated, I clean. Right? Maybe this is your shtick. Like when you're stressed or frustrated, you just fix things. But I don't really see Ulhime being that way. I could be wrong.
It's not that even let's think it's of him being stressed. It's he broke something, or the people that he's associated with broke something. It needs to get fixed. So that's why it's being done. It's not to show off or to that he's nervous. That's what he's trying to right his wrongs, essentially.
Okay.
But even given the span of time, like I said, he would repair the biggest damage, which is that hole in the wall that was created. So that way, at least there's no outside damage being shown, and then maybe like one or two of the tables to kind of get rid of a majority of the mess. But as he's doing that, he'll look over to Klaus. Good job today. You quite powerful and quite capable. I've never actually seen a caster of your sort move as agile.
Frankly, I'm a little surprised by it myself, but I didn't really get a chance to do as much as I would have liked to. Being in such a situation and with civilians surrounding us, it really wasn't optimal.
True enough, it was the same for me as well, though I was able to produce a divine aura of some protection. The portion of mending our combat wounds would not have been in our favor. It would have given more of our enemy the upper hand than anything else. And given my abilities, it works one way or the other. Either damage and destroy undead around us, or, well, I can give everything that's alive a nice boost of vitality. But as I said, the situation itself did kind of put us all in a bind, and we were blessed with the help that we got. So that's all we can ask for, I guess, in the end. But either way, you did good, and I wanted to say thank you for the help that you offered today.
The same goes from myself to you. You performed admirably, and frankly, I don't know that I would have made it without your assistance.
That means a lot. Thank you. There is something I did want to discuss with you, though.
What may that be?
I don't know if you've noticed yet, but and then he kind of pulls a shirt a little, showing the black veins and stuff around his neck, and then kind of showing them his eyes. The ritual that you saw cast earlier on Griffin's son, it didn't come without consequence. You see, in order to revive the dead the way I did, it requires quite a bit to do. In terms of components that need to be completed to do it. And while the ritual was successfully performed, I had to borrow a bit of divinity to do it, to act as a catalyst to perform the spell. And as such, I drew the death from his son. That's just why you've seen him come back, even though you were correct in your assumption that he did die. This is part of a trial that I need to complete, though. I have about a week before the actual effect of death does take place. And while I myself am not worried for myself, I'm worried about my friend, Jakob. You see, I can't tell him exactly what's going on, and knowing him, if he was to have any doubts or any thoughts of this being placed on him, it would devastate him, and I don't need him to go through that. But should my effect worsen, would you do me a favor and just let him know that it was a poison of some sort that might be afflicting me, or just let him know that it's some sort of backlash from the spell. You're an arcane user yourself. I don't want to say to make something up, but if I happen to come up with something, would you do me the favor and the kindness and play along with it?
I believe I can manage that, yes. I believe it best for that situation not to come up in the first place, but if the time comes and the need arises, then you can count on me.
Thank you. And well, looking at that, like I said, I don't know what other effects will transpire the closer I get to completing this ritual, or the more it's delayed, what I guess would be the correct phrase. But if anything should happen to me, can I ask you a favor of you and your friends? Can you look after Jared? I'm sorry. Can you look after Jakob for me, please?
Well, I certainly had the job for many days looking after Jared, but yes, I believe I can take on the responsibility of Jakob as well.
Thank you. He's always been curious about things, and a lot of times it gets us into trouble, unnecessarily so, but he always means well. And I would ask that that if the worst should happen to me, that you're not so heavy-handed with him. He's better off if you explain why something went wrong rather than just scold him on it.
Understood.
Thank you. And always remind him, he doesn't need to wear the hood. He shouldn't be ashamed of who he is.
Difficult thing to keep in mind in this town, but certainly I understand.
Thank you. Well, we have a big day ahead of us tomorrow, friend. And looks like the wall's it's almost finished up along with the windows. I guess we really won't have time to fix every table and chair, but should we come back with more fortunes, we can use those funds to pay back what was lost.
I believe we can handle the cost. I appreciate the thought, but Griffin's been long a close friend of ours. This is a small price to pay for the lives that were saved today.
Agreed. Well, thank you for your time. And are you going to be up much longer?
I believe I will be, at least a while. I need some time to process some of the events of the day.
No problem. Well, here, this is for you. And he opens up his shirt a little bit and pulls out a metal case, and he hands Klaus a cigar to relax with.
Save it for a rainy day, I shall.
No problem, man. No problem.
So, Deia,
Yeah,
are you
little
just kind
does-
of chilling at the end of the bar? You're just kind of watching him at this point, just this
Yep.
interaction.
Hey, bub.
What's
How
What?
is Spellmason's body? Is it the Mr. Miyagi like hunched over old man body, or is it like the super tall, really thin, like old man body?
I could have swore that here it is. It's right here.
It's like
He
Gandalf-esque.
was super buff when he had the rage going on him.
So, but he's about an average sized human, give or take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the entire time Will and Ronald were talking, in my head, visualizing it as kind of like a movie scene, I was seeing it camera, like face to face, reverse shot. And then I imagined as they walked away, pulling the camera apart, and then I realized, holy shit, Will has been staring down at this tiny little man this entire time. And they haven't been completely level. And I just... I had to make sure he wasn't like hunched over old man. Okay, thank you.
I mean, he was always like, Surbar has always kind of been in good health, even in death. He was above the cut. Like there's sometimes you just see people that are like, damn, he didn't have to do anything, and he just looks like that.
He's just healthy.
That's Surbar. Like even in his old age, it's like, damn,
Yeah.
that's a good-looking 80-year-old.
Yeah, he's basically Keanu Reeves.
looks like fucking Archmage Antonidas, like straight up.
I can see that.
But yeah, I mean, with that, Ulhime will give a nod, and as he's walking past the bar where Deia is sitting, he'll stop and turn over to her. Good lady, I've kind of had a conversation with Klaus that he might be able to fill you in.
Ho ho ho! Who's this?
If you're gonna be up for a while and keeping them company, he can fill you in on what's happened.
I do need a word with Klaus, and I don't sleep much. It's a curse, really.
I understand, Les. I understand. And then once he'll give her a cigar too, since you're both gonna be up.
Okay.
I'll take it and head over to Klaus.
All right.
She walks away. He just kind of looks down at the cigar case. 2 left. Guess one when I get there and one when I get back. And he closes it, and then he'll head up to the room that he's gonna be sharing with Jakob.
Gotcha. So then that leaves 2 of you. That's Deia and Klaus.
Well, damn, okay, I guess I'm going to bed then.
I figured you might.
You're not my real dad!
Pretty damn close to it at this point.
And there is Deia and Klaus, and they are all alone. No one else is at the bar.
I'm not interested in. I'm not interested in 18-year-old boys or 80-year-old men. So
Man, my age
I just
should
think
have
it's
been
funny
aside.
that,
Nobody's
Ulhime went ahead and provided this teenager with a cigar, like, here. Puff.
I mean,
to be fair, I'm more like in the 1800 range.
It's really not that crazy. I think a lot of people oftentimes forget that back then you were treated as an adult at 14.
Yeah, that's when he started working the farms.
That was 3 years ago.
And at the same time, I don't know if you guys recall me saying this or not, but water wasn't necessarily clean back then. It wasn't very sanitary, and in an effort to keep the water clean, they cut their ale, like they cut their water with ale. It was actually called near beer. You guys can look it up, and it was like 4/5 water, 1 part ale, and they don't know why. They're not exactly sure why, but they would cut their water with beer because it made it safe to drink.
Awful.
They did it in pirate ships.
Yeah,
to keep the water from growing algae. The alcohol
I
would
see
fight
the
off the
practical use
bacteria.
of it, but man, gross.
Yeah, that's where the original.
Talk about watered down beer.
That's where Miller Lite came from.
Hey, before we jump into this, I mean, you're not wrong. Before we jump into this Deia Klaus thing, I need to run to the bathroom and be right back.
Sure. Now, he's
Deia,
probably just muted
Jakob.
himself. He's probably just muted himself, but
I hope so.
Deia, this is your chance. You can really put the moves on him.
I'd rather not.
Hey, come on now. You know
hit
you.
on him.
Come on, Deia. You can get that geriatric dick.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Earlier, when I said that there are some things that I need to censor Sniper from saying. This is why we have those post-stream meetings. So I can be like, bruh, no!
Hey, he's Spell Mason. At least we know he doesn't need a blue pill. He mage hands that shit.
Oh, I'll be right back.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm going to the bathroom before I have to listen to any more of this.
That's the real practical use for Mage Hand. That is it. You have no other reason to grab that spell at any other point except for that.
Seriously, that's what it would be. If Sniper was capable of producing any kind of magical spell, he wouldn't leave his fucking house anymore. That Mage Hand, he would be like, yeah, you've heard of Mage Hand, how about Mage Pussy? Yeah. That's what it would be right there. He would never leave his house.
You know what it
Someone,
is? It's like
can you see that? Like, mom's knocking on the door. What are you doing in there? I'm vacuuming.
You know, it's like when you it's that old trick that they say when you like sit on your hand to
The
get it
stranger?
numb.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
that's-
stranger.
It's the magic stranger.
There I am, just grabbing onto the arms of my chair, just like, oh! A little more to the left. Oh, ooh.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Fucking Jared.
He's the magical stranger is too long. He'd call it something else, like Pixie Palms or something like that.
No, he'd be all fucking Respectus Erectus and
What's it? It's Hello said last Thursday they were talking about the same fucking thing, and he was like, "Wait a minute, man! It's like Expecto Patronads." And I was like,
I wasn't
"Excuse
gonna
me,
go there, but okay.
it's actually Erecto Patronads." Why does it always come back to this? God damn it! All right, sorry.
Man.
Sorry.
It's Erectus Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Oh. If you say it wrong, then your body lifts, but your dick stays mounted to the earth. It's really awful.
it's like the worst seesaw in the world.
That would really suck if you were laying on your back. I mean, it would just like turn inside out.
Or, now follow me on
You
this
go
one.
from laying like this, your dick would hit the ground, and you go flying forward.
It's a catapult.
Call it the Superman.
Let's hope you're on the bed.
Can you imagine? Like, can you imagine? Someone
That's actually
walking
how
in and
it-
saying that. It's like, what did you do? And Sniper's response: cock push-up. That's it.
I do want to point out,
Come on,
Bub,
helmet
when you
head.
started the joke, I just took it too far.
I mean,
This
that's
is-
how it always goes.
This is the normal. You find a way to take it too far.
No, that's like expressly hit. I take things too far. I don't start them. I just take them too far.
Instructions unclear. Dick sucking floor. Oh man, sorry. Whew, just we gotta
We gotta get it out at least.
And welcome back to Shackled City, boys and girls. Hosted by Uncle Touchy. DM by the Bubbernaut.
Oh, I'm lightheaded. Jesus, no, not like this. All right, I'm gonna get some water.
Dude, if it turns out that I end up killing you on stream by one of my dirty jokes, I'll honestly be kind of impressed.
That'll
be like the ambulance, right?
There's gonna be one of those times where I just forget to breathe while I'm just dying. It'll happen. I'll just fall back in my chair. Don't worry though, I got life alert.
Fun fact, now every time I read dongs, I have nostalgia of Bugfest.
Dude. Man, we don't have nearly as good Chinese food here, and it makes me really sad.
To clarify to anybody that wasn't there, Dongs is a Chinese restaurant in Indianapolis.
It's a really, really good, like, mom and pop Chinese restaurant.
All you can eat Chinese buffet. And you need it.
It was, like, every time we go now, we have to go there. We're talking about Dongs, bub.
Yeah, we're trying to explain how good it is.
It's okay, I came back and all I heard was Chinese buffet, and I figured that was what was
I figured
so far, that was the first time I've laughed in, like... 4 or 5 days, and I'm winded. Jesus.
Yeah, you're sounding way better. I tell you.
You are welcome. I am glad I was able to give you the gift of laughter.
You give me the gift of shame.
He's got no reputation to shame for me.
You have shame, but you still laugh at me.
All right.
I'm fine with this.
So, let's discuss these things. Let's return back to the table. Oh, that laugh was too intense. Deia and Klaus.
A little side burster.
Yeah.
Sitting across the table from each other. If Jacob's there, then Jacob's there. I didn't think he was, but...
No, it's okay. I mean, Jacob's just sipping on his wine and trying to mull over the night's happenings. If they want me to just move, they can be like, hey, yo, get... And he'll skedaddle.
Sure, I got you.
If necessary.
All right, then Deia, Klaus. This will actually be probably one of the maybe 7 times you guys have talked together.
It's true.
I think we're the quietest of
I'm
the
actually waiting for you guys to get into the role play, and then nobody says anything. You just kind of nod to each other the entire time.
We're on a level.
So how are you doing?
That seems like an odd thing to ask me about, but
there's a long list of things I need to talk to you specifically about, but I thought I should break the ice with something not pressing.
Well, if you must know, I'm not used to being old, you know. This is a new experience for me. But all in all, I can't say I'm doing too badly. How about yourself?
Yeah, well, life's kind of shitty, you know, the way it usually is. But, okay, let's cut the small talk that I started. I have one most pressing thing that I need to ask about. Among the smoking eye and all of the stuff that's been going on, what do you know about the Blue Duke?
Unfortunately, I really don't know much about him. I know that he's revered as practically a demigod in the half-orc community, I suppose. The guards, they look up to him like I've not seen any others look up to anything, really.
The issue I have is I see him as something else. Not this picture that everyone tries to believe. He's hideous. And I don't know what kind of power one would need to fool an entire city that you're something completely different. I don't know if nobody can see through the disguise that he's put up, or if maybe it's just some of the select nobles that allow it to happen because they don't have any word in the city.
If you really don't mind, I think I need a little explanation on what you mean. What does he look like to you?
I think the best way to go about doing it is when you go to have the sketch done of your paladin friend that you had prior, I should go and try and get one done as well, and not specify of whom, but just what I see so that I can try and see if anyone has seen anything of it, knows anything about it, but it's not what it seems, and I worry that him and the Demon Lord are in some kind of agreement. He was traveling with Skellerang to go to Red Gorge, if I do remember correctly, and then he made no attempt of combat to when Alec Turcival clearly came and wasn't a paladin. I don't understand why you guys are so attached to this town. This place is in shambles. And well, I mean, I guess I didn't grow up here, but it's got no appeal to me, that's for certain.
To be frank with you, there are days I wonder that myself, and I didn't grow up here either, but the one thing, if nothing else, that keeps me going is, if you think about it, if we aren't the protectors of this town, then who will be? I mean, Jared's in charge now, and he has a better understanding of the inner workings and how things go around here than Tercion ever did, I believe, but I don't believe that he's enough. I don't believe the entire force of the guards is enough, at least not on their own.
It's unfortunate that things have to end up this way for this town, but I know my sole life purpose is to defeat evil and rid this world of the pain and suffering that people have to live out, because I know what it's like to live in pain and suffering. And people don't deserve that. And so, I suppose I need to stay here. It's not optional for me until I pass in combat or this place is rid of all of its evils, which, albeit it likely will never be, as the world is just a scale of evil and good, and sometimes I feel like it's tipping to the evil side more than the good.
It's hard not to feel helpless at times when faced with such a gargantuan issue, really. Frankly, we sort of just have to keep going day by day and hoping eventually it will get better.
I think this entire conversation is more or less me just telling you that I'm not going anywhere. I'm here until I pass or this world is fixed and I can leave and move on to better places, but it's just kind of my way of allowing you to know my devotion.
It is greatly appreciated, and believe me, it has not gone unnoticed. Many more would have left already and never would have heard from them again.
Also, you have a really shitty team. Very shoddy, very unprepared, but I mean, I guess they're the only ones willing. I don't like half of them.
It's not often you come upon a group of men and women so willing to give up their lives for a city that, frankly, treats them horribly.
I'm gonna look over at Jakob and say, and sometimes willing to give up lives of others.
Jacob's gonna look up from his wine, just kind of look between the two. What? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Nothing important.
Okay. Psycho.
Anyways, I need to go and pretend to sleep.
You'll do well
try
to get
my
as much
best.
rest as you can.
It doesn't work out very well most nights.
We do what we can.
We do what we must.
More often than not.
I'm gonna head up to go to bed.
Okay. He heads off to bed. And everyone can return to their, I guess, their position, their sleeping spot, whatever it is that seems to be working for each of you. It is different for each of you, mind you. But if you are sleeping in a room with someone, know that they aren't twin-bedded. They're not bunk beds. You're either sharing a bed or you're sleeping on the floor. If you're sharing a room, Korathon would be taking a room, but he would be taking someone else's room because they're all booked up.
Yeah, I gave him mine, so I'm sharing with Jacob.
And I'm just waiting for Ulhime to finally get like into deep sleep, because until then, he sounds like a fucking chainsaw.
Yeah, I would sleep on the floor. I wouldn't take the bed from Jacob.
Okay.
Damn right you'd be sleeping on the floor. It's a lot longer for me.
Sunn just kind of has his own room, I assume, right? I don't think I have anyone in there, unless there's the lack of people.
Well, seeing as to how, I guess technically, who was it? It was Cicada?
Yeah.
Cicada's kind of got a permanent room.
Yeah, but he's kind of dead.
He's kind of dead, so...
But only one person knows that, or two, technically.
Yeah, no one wanted to tell Griffith that he died.
Griffin.
Well, only one person knows.
Look, do you really want to break the news of someone's best friend dying right after their son almost
No,
perished?
I can see it now. Your son's going to be okay, but just so you know, Cicada's dead. Dead again.
I was up for the idea of telling him that before we got the drinks and before we sat down at the table.
Yeah, I'm not going to open with that.
See,
Sorry. Ain't happening.
I was much more keen on opening with it, to walk in the bar and say, "Hey,
Look.
how you doing? We're alive." Son, by the way, Cicada's not alive. He died. Cool.
Yeah, you know what? He'll ask at some point, and at that point I'll be forced to answer. But, until then, we'll just ride this happy wave.
Or, given that Jared is an upstanding guy, and he even brought the bones of one of his companions back to the city, it's most likely Cicada's going to get get a funeral with honors, despite not having any corpse to bury. And he'll probably tell Griffin sometime down the line.
Sweet.
Okay. All right. So let's just assume at this point that everybody's gone off to their rooms. They're doing whatever it is that they have to do, whatever it is that they want to do, and you'll get a full night's rest.
So throughout the night, I did want to study the staff that I picked up.
Okay.
The one that's so dear to Serbar himself.
Sure.
See what I can figure out about it.
This isn't something that you've really kind of done yet, which is interesting to me. You haven't really had a lot of time either, so there are a couple of things that make this particular staff different. Let me pull this up here. There we go. And the name of your staff is Alicast. Correct. Correct. Mm-hmm. So what did you want to do specifically? You said you kind of wanted to study the staff itself and...
Study it, find out what sort of properties it has, what abilities, if there's anything I can discern about the history of it, where it's been, what it's done before this. That too.
Okay. So how will you be going about doing that?
Ideally, I would like to first discern what kind of magical properties it has, what its intended use is. If it has charges, if it needs to be recharged, that kind of thing.
So give me a spellcraft.
Sure.
Let's see what you get with the spellcraft.
$39.
Ooh, that's really good. I actually set the DC very high, and you beat it by 4.
He wrecked it.
No, he didn't wreck it. He beat it by 4. Just 4. DC was very high. You begin peering over this instrument that was obviously used by the previous owner, Surbar Spellmason. And you know that this has a name. Legends foretold of a legendary instrument used by Surbar Spellmason, gifted to him by astral devas, particularly of Saren Ray. Alicast was the name. And in this, in your ability to determine what kind of lingers over the staff, you don't really know, right? Like, nobody's ever really said what Alicast was capable of. It was just spoken of. It's sort of like everybody knows the Master Sword when they look at the Master Sword, but nobody really knows what the Master Sword is capable of.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at one of the, if not the most legendary weapon of the late Surbar Spellmason, passed on to him by an angel. And looking over this, you can clearly see and sense that there is power that is lurking here. The problem is that you know that it's lurking here. Like, it's almost hidden behind a veil. And something that you hadn't really noticed much of. Let me go ahead and pull this back up so everybody can, again, take a look at this. This is the staff right here. That's the staff. That's Alicast. Can everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alicast is not quite 7 feet long. And it's beautiful. It's among the most beautiful staves ever created. You can tell that it's focused for a spellcaster in its sense. But what you didn't really notice before is that where the staff itself kind of twists into the open spot above, where there's like a small silver orb that is nestled into it, there are runes. Runes, not so much like a spell, but they're written in a way that borderline tells a story. Did you want to investigate this further, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I can throw on Read Magic if need be.
Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah. When you toss on Read Magic to take a look at this particular instrument, you find what you believe to be the starting point of this particular weapon, of this story, as you begin reading it. And it tells about an individual named Alicast. Basically, this person, it's like a biography of sorts, and it begins telling the story of an astral deva, an angel, to Saren Ray, one of the first in command. Alicast was apparently yielding his own life. You read it as materially and gendered as a he. Had led his entire life in the aid in strife against evil outsiders. He basically controlled an entrance of sorts. But with a great planar rip under a concocted scheme by demons, he was unable to defend it any further without first sacrificing himself. Providing his own energy to someone that mattered most to him. It's listed as that, as someone that mattered most to him. In his sacrifice, he became this weapon. He became this gift to fight against these enemies potent enough, these enemies most vicious, these demons, flooding into the plane to seek out a fight with Sarenrae, which, as you know, is probably the worst thing they could have done.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't stop Alicast. Eventually, his sacrifice led to the creation of this weapon and the sealing of this rip. And now it says that Alicast's soul lays dormant inside of this weapon.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
The story ends with a sign-off. This is from the heart. He did his best, and with it he giveth everything he had to Sarenrae. I'll miss my brother dearly. And it's signed from Nidrama. You believe, after reading that there's far more to this weapon than just the simplicity behind it of it being a stick. Some kind of focal point, a focus for you to bend your magic from. It does actually say in the story that the soul of an astral deva lurks inside of this weapon. And in the forefront of the story, this is actually, it's been written as the legacy of Alicast. So you have read a biography written by Nidrama about her late brother. One of the first in command under Sarenrae. So, right now, you're not necessarily sure how this functions, how this is going to help you, but you know that it was created with the intentions of fighting evil outsiders.
Right.
If you find evil outsiders, then things might happen if you begin quick mathing it.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what you've managed to glean from it.
Okay.
At least on this evening.
And lucky us.
Go on. Lucky us.
Oh, lucky us. We're about to go to a place where there's a ton of evil outsiders.
Yeah. Yeah, you aren't wrong.
Like around every corner.
Okay. All right. So,
Are you trying to suggest that there aren't good people in hell?
Who knew?
There are. They're just tied up and likely tortured for eternity.
for
It's a great place.
Going to shoot, right?
for the basic purposes of Alicast, when utilizing this weapon, you may use it to channel your spells through. It will give you a competence luck bonus of +2 on all attack rolls, all saving throws, and skill checks, so long as it is wielded by you. And if it is functionally aimed at evil outsiders, all of those double except skill checks.
Jesus.
Gross.
Find a place to write that down real quick.
Bub,
Everywhere.
2 OP, please nerf.
Okay, so you're gonna run through that list for me again?
Yes, you will gain a +2 luck bonus on all attack rolls, saving throws, and skill checks while wielding this.
So basically a flat +2.
Yeah. And if you are functionally utilizing it against an evil outsider, you will
That's
gain
+4.
a +4 on attack rolls and saving throws against them.
Hot diggity damn.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So, that being said, did you want to do anything else with the rest of your eve?
No, I mean, really discovering a little bit more about Alicast is the only goal I had in mind.
Okay.
I'm just picturing Klaus in there, like reading this and then suddenly going, holy shnikes. You know, some youthful exuberance like, oh my god, this is dope.
I don't live in the 80s. Fucking weirdo.
Ah! My heart!
And then I've already marked down 1 of 7 days, but
Okay. Sounds good. All right, so morning. I'm gonna go ahead and alter the scene here. Morning time. Things are gonna look a little different. Obviously, any of the loose debris has been removed by the functioning arm of Griffin. By Elliot and Jimothy has been urged to sit to the back, basically, kind of maintain himself, stay to himself.
I'll walk over to Griffin in the morning.
Okay.
How's everything, friend? Is he well?
Oh, I suppose everything's fine as can be, yes.
How are you holding up?
As good as I can, all things considered.
Understood.
Hmm.
If there's anything you need, just let me know, and I'll do what I can.
Well, there's a lot of works, a lot of things to be done inside of the tankard. It's morning, and well, we're used to seeing many more people at this time. I'm afraid that the tankard is going through a bit of a change.
Well, a lot happened in one night. It's not a surprise that things will be a little slower, but don't worry. We'll make sure the tankard is booming and bustling with business once again.
Griffin kind of maintains his stride in slow sweeps with one arm. He's kind of like got the staff going up against the back of his arm, and he's strong sweeping it this way. And he you see him look out of the corner of his eyes. You see Korafon return from upstairs. He's looking around, trying to discern where the rest of you are.
Jacob's not going to be too far behind Ulhime because, Ulhime putting on armor, he sounds like a fucking army marching through the bedroom.
Ulhime, give me a perception, please.
$19?
It doesn't take a lot for you to hear this, but you hear Griffin mutter something under his breath. I don't like him. No. Not one bit. Something's off about him. You just see him kind of shaking his head, muttering this under his breath. It would take, if you were any further away from your current location, you probably would not hear him as he continues to sweep.
Hearing that, I'll turn over to Griffin. We'll be departing soon, Master Griffin. We'll be out of your hair soon enough.
Protect yourselves. I don't trust him. Some things, you can feel it in your gut. And this one kind of like touches his tummy with the staff of the broom. Right in my gut. No, I don't trust him. No.
I understand, friend. And I take it, but you can take it from me that you can trust my word. I'll keep an eye on him. For my sake and the sake of those around me.
Korafon idles over to the bar. He places his hands on the bar while still maintaining his staff in the crook of his arm.
I'll help him with his seat. I don't want to just be a dick and just have him struggle.
Okay, he looks over to you. Are you ready? Where is everyone else?
They're gathering their supplies. Once they finish up, we'll be ready to go. I would suggest that we depart outside behind the tankard. Master Griffin's been through a lot, and having any more spectacle wouldn't be in his best interest.
Good. Gather everyone. Tell them to come prepared. Once I open this, I'll depart with you. Scroll of returning.
Understood. Ulhime will put his helmet on, and he'll start walking over to every one of them. Let's go, lads. We haven't much time. And he'll make his way out the door to the back portion of the tankard.
Okay. Klaus, Deia, Sunn, Jakob. Floor's yours.
Excellent. Well, like I was saying, Jacob probably would have been down fairly shortly after Ulhime. Didn't have to go ahead and study his book too much. He didn't use too many spells yesterday. And, well, he's already got a pretty good grasp on what he wants to do for the afternoon. After all, it's going to be nice and busy. But, yeah, coming downstairs, he had fully intended to grab a cup of tea and maybe help out with sweeping up the tankard a little bit, trying to go ahead and ingratiate himself to Griffin. But, no, hearing that we're meeting up out back, he's just kind of look at Griffith, shrug, and start making his way out back.
When you look over to Griffith and you shrug, you see that the tea, like all of the cups, most of the bottles, things have been broken, they've been shattered. The only thing, like you would even see that it looks like one of the larger barrels that he would have been using to pour ale from probably would have shattered. And needless to say, things are kind of fucked up in here. Even with all the work that they put in, it's going to be some time before this is right, you know?
Man, somebody's going to have a massive tab. You know, somebody's going to have to pay for all that.
Yeah. Somebody.
Well, luckily nobody was named on that, you know? I mean, it's one of those mysteries. It was probably one of those damn demons.
Probably.
Yeah.
Needless to say, there's no tea and crumpets set out for you in the morning.
Well, he was going to go ahead and, you know, yeah. It's cool. He'll pick some up on, you know, on the way through McCauldron's.
I gotcha. Sunn, Deia, Klaus, what does your morning look like?
Sunn would be probably one of the last one down, so let them.
Some likes to sleep in.
Well,
Sure.
no, yeah, for this specific instance, he'd like to sleep in, but he also has to make all of his potions. That's the thing I do in the morning.
Potions.
I'm actually just making lots of drugs.
I mean,
All
Yeah.
the drugs.
It's Bub. How many alchemy checks do I have to roll to make the good shit?
What the fuck are you making?
I'm just doing my potions. My daily allotment of spells, basically.
I mean, it's implied that you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
No, he's trying to make a meme potion. That's what
I
he's trying
I was joking, saying that I'm not actually making my potions. I'm making drugs. But
I mean, potions are drugs, so
they
you're not
are.
far off.
But shitty joke aside, Sunn's gonna he's going to hold himself up in his room, and he's just going to make his daily allotment of potions.
Make sure you
sleep
block
in.
off all the ventilation. Really inhale those fumes.
Who needs a fume hood when you have a
Klaus,
nose?
you see Sunn walk out and all he's wearing is tidy whities and a fucking apron. That's it. He's got the mask on. He's like, I think we're good.
He's just got a bunch of little glass vials filled with little blue crystals.
Yeah.
You're gonna be rich!
Jacob, we have to cook.
But yeah, Sun being the last one down would come down, hopefully catch a bite to eat, and then walk out with a newfound resolve.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I'm just going to assume that
The one who knocks.
you started early, so not everybody's going to be stuck waiting on you. I know it's your typical fashion, but I think it would be best to assume that you got up before the rooster crow.
Yeah, I mean, if you're anything like me, it takes about an hour. You work that in. You learn.
I don't know what he's talking about, but all right.
I don't even know
I
what
assume
that
it's something
means.
related to Mage Hand, so I'm just not even going to ask.
Yeah.
World.
Ah.
You did this to yourself. Like, don't even.
I'm not the one that brought up the Mage Hand joke. I
Nope,
don't even
you took
start
it too
the joke.
far.
You took it. Yeah, you took it there.
Again! I don't start them, I just take them too far.
It's like at this point that Sniper's like, I don't. You know what? You should know. You should know that I'm a child and what I'm capable of.
I don't want to think of him as a child. That makes everything so much worse.
Oh God! All
He
right.
thinks if everyone else is a child, we don't need to worry about this.
This is true. There's a reason we call him what we call him.
Yes,
the
Dad.
thing.
Yeah, the name.
Oh,
The name.
why'd you have to go there?
The
One
name.
thing I miss about Skype, I could hang up on him there.
Yeah, I can't just leave.
Yeah, please don't do that. You'll fuck all the cameras up.
Yeah, that's
Like,
the only
really
reason
bad.
I'm not leaving.
Okay.
What my morning would look like is I'm usually up before everybody because I wake up in cold sweats almost every time due to the nightmares that
Casually.
keep me from sleeping much. And
Is that
I
your
would
life
head
story
down
or
and-
song lyrics?
a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Don't know what song, but I'm sure there's one.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd be up early, and then once I'm done eating and drinking, I would just kind of sit and wait for Klaus primarily, because I don't know if he's going to the person that draws things. I don't know what his rightful name would be. The artist?
The person that draws. What are we drawing?
Finger paintings? No. We need to have Horum's body sketched, and I wanted to sketch the body of the Blue Duke.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. You wanted to have Horum's body sketched. That's right.
Or Jenya wanted
Jenya.
Horum's body
Yeah.
sketched.
So that's something that you would leave to the rest of them. Okay. All right. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, that's something that you're gonna have to take care of another time for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what is of urgence right now. I'm kind of just waiting for whoever's coming.
All right. Okay. You meet downstairs. You'll meet with the rest of them. Klaus, Jakob, Ulhime, Sunn. When everybody steps to the back, you will see that you're met by Korofon, who has found an area to place his back to, kind of stretch out his arms, and he will walk over to you, Ulhime, and drop a scroll. This is yours as well. Take you back and forth, but only once. You'll be able to return.
Understood. Thank you.
He also hands you 4 stones.
When he hands me the scroll, can I do a sense motive check to see if he's fucking lying about what the intention of these is actually doing?
Sure, go for it.
21.
It looks good. You are convinced that he's giving you a
way
scroll
back.
of teleportation.
Okay.
You aren't going to know that unless you unfurl the scroll and attempt to discern what
Cast
magic is
it.
on the scroll. I mean, honestly, like if you just find an arcane caster, they could be able to read magic to tell you what this is.
Yeah. That
Or
being said,
if you have knowledge arcana, you could also determine this as well.
I do not.
Okay.
But that being said, I will hand the scroll. I'll keep the scroll for right now. And then you said he was handing me 4 stones.
Yes. You will only be able to share these at one time. Pass them to whomever you'd like to. Each one will last up to 36 to 40 words. Short messages. Stones of sending. From once you use them and the arcane snap. They are no more than rocks.
Very well.
Each message, he looks to each of you. The message will get to me, guaranteed. Note that I don't have a planar binding that will take me directly to you.
Mm-hmm. So basically, it's a stone of sending, and if we need something from him, we can go ahead and send individually a message. We have up to 4 messages we can send back.
Yes. Only 4. These are meant to cross planes. Most stones of sending will go up to like 1,000 feet, maybe a mile, but this will cross planes. It's a little bit more intense. Yeah, it's powerful. You got that chirp talk. Okay, this is your flip phone. That'll last for a single message.
I'll give one to Jakob, one to Sunn, one to Klaus, and then the last one will go to Deia.
In order to do this, in order to succeed upon this, there is an activation word. And he tells you to say his name. When you grip the stone in your right palm and you say his name, the next message following his name will be delivered to him. It is a round's worth of words. 36 words. It's not going to be one of those things where you try to squeak a word by like, my name is Bob, we other baby eats a boy.
Can I use all 36 words to recite the beginning part of the B movie?
No, you
What
can't.
the fuck is wrong with you?
Can maybe symbols? Can I just say at 36
For
times?
the scroll of returning, I'll walk over to Klaus.
Okay.
I've always gotten my spells from Helm. He's always gifted me with my casting, but I'm not too keen on the arcane. I think this will be better in your hands.
It certainly won't hurt. I can tell you that much.
Very well. And he'll hand over the scroll, and he'll look back over to Korapon. Is there anything else that you think that would be of use to us?
No, I don't believe so. I think you're ready.
Very well.
He pulls forth another scroll. It draws and seems to fall from his, what looks to be his, like this cowl that he's wearing, this long sleeve. Once it drops to his hand, he clutches it, and in both hands he wryly twists it open. And he begins reading. You can see, Klaus, that the spell is fairly similar to what he was reading before this dismissal, but this time some of the words are a little different. Again, you're still not entirely sure what words or what language that he's speaking in, but it's pretty guttural. It's pretty gross. After revealing that he was a half-fiend, it's likely to assume that it's probably
some dialect of demonic.
Abyssal.
Yeah, probably abyssal, something to that degree. But as he does this, the wall before you, this fence to the rear side of the building, it seems to twist and malign in a way that looks sort of like a painting is beginning to run. But as it twists, you sort of see that it just becomes this blue standing spot with like silvery speckles in between it. Once you step inside, you will be inside of hell. I will not be going with you.
Very well.
If
Jacob's
you
going to turn.
have to call upon me, and you need me to open a portal again, I can, but I cannot guarantee where inside of Occipitus I'll be.
Understood. Ulhime will look back to the group, pull down his visor, take his shield, and draw his sword and step through.
Jakob is going to just kind of ready his scabbard and look back to Klaus, Deia, and finally to Sunn, and kind of more so to Sunn than anyone else. Are we all ready to go?
Yeah, I'm good. And Sunn's gonna kind of clap his hands together and walk forward.
He'll go ahead and knuckle his brow to Klaus and Deia and step in after Sunn.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Let's go ahead and make the shift. See if I can get you guys some things for scale.
It's like
bananas?
Quantum Leap, you know? They just
If it's any note, I will be the last one to head in.
Okay.
Yeah. Somehow Jacob wakes up and he has extra chromosomes.
No, that's been there for a while.
Holy shit.
Okay. Let me go ahead and start describing some things for you, okay?
This looks like the parking lot of Target.
Not quite.
A little more
over here.
intense.
All right. So friends, so fam.
Oh wait, this isn't a room?
No.
Holy shit! That skull is almost 40 miles long!
Yeah.
Let me read to you.
Ain't it?
Jesus Christ.
You have landed here.
Oh, I love this rock formation.
The sky seems to be made of flame, bathing everything in a reddish glow. Off in the distance looms a massive skull, a white monolith the size of a small mountain. Clouds of flame stream from the skull's open eye sockets. About a half a mile ahead stands a cluster of gently curving white pillars, almost as if giant rib bones had been struck in the ground. In the distance looms a steep mountain range whose top seems to touch the fiery sky. It stretches around the entire horizon, as if you were inside, standing at a vast bowl with a fiery lid. The ground is spongy and wrinkled. It's more like skin than like dirt. And if you're watching the stream, if you're at home watching the stream, the artwork that you can see behind everything, I'll go ahead and tune this up to the BRB or the starting soon screen. This is actually what this place looks like. We're not actually taking a break. This is actually what this place looks like.
But, you know, we could.
Yeah, we could.
Jesus, Johnny Cripes.
But would you say that this is the perspective that we have of it?
Not quite.
Not quite. Well, the first thing Sunn would probably do, I'm assuming that when we step through, we're not immediately bombarded by death, right?
No, you're not immediately bombarded
Just
by
the
death.
smell.
Then
yeah.
Sunn he would pull out his journal and you would see him sketching basically the entire area into his notebook.
Okay. Based on the things before you, how would you guys handle this? What would you be doing?
I want to get a view of higher ground, if anything, to see if I can see any semblance of life.
I mean, you're
And
pretty
if
much...
there's things bigger than us, I would prefer to find a way around it.
You are pretty much on high ground. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You've basically appeared on top of what looks to be a natural like formation of volcanic rock.
Okay.
Fleshy volcanic rock.
Yes.
So, I mean, that being said, looking around the horizon.
Give me a perception.
Nada. It's not good enough.
Okay. Everybody else give me a perception as well. Oh. Important to note after everybody's is doing this. If you are lawful, and if you are good, if you're one of those, you take a -4 to every roll here.
Jesus Christ.
Chaotic neutral!
If
What was
you
the roll
are
again?
if you are lawful and good, you take a -8 here to everything.
Okay, so then
Later,
I
Deia.
rolled technically 1.
Yeah, I rolled a 2.
Rolled a. What is it?
23.
Could
21.
someone tell me the
21.
roll again? Was it perception or
Yes,
no?
it's
Right?
perception.
Oh, okay.
Perception with a -4, assuming you're either good or lawful.
Neutral, good. So what was that? -1?
-4.
4.
-4.
Minus.
So you
wish it
rolled
was a -1.
30.
Okay. Sun, you
Yeah.
are actually going to see something.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
Across the span, across this divide, past this enormous skull, miles away. Miles away. Right here. There is something. Something that it sort of leaps out at you. There's a cathedral that's based atop this enormous stone formation. You can't seem to make out the statues that surround this cathedral, but they look, in nature, very angelic. It's very not this location, if that makes sense.
So Sunn would have basically been similar to when he first got into Cauldron, basically like scanning the entire area, and then when he would eventually see the chapel, you guys would basically see him. He'd stop looking around and he'd just be focusing on it. He'd be trying to draw it, and he's gonna say, I need to get closer. I'd like to get a drawing of that chapel."
Ulhime
Hey, son.
moving around uncomfortably, almost, I wouldn't say in pain, but I guess he'd feel like a weaker connection to his deity, right? Like he would feel somewhat drained from being, like really drained from being here, right?
Actually, Ulhime, you have never felt closer.
Really?
Yes.
Touch your gods.
Is it because of the cathedral that I feel that, or is it because...
Potentially, after Sunn points it out, you are going to note that this is not... It obviously, it does not fit.
Yeah.
You guys don't really know the history of Occipitus. There's
Alright.
a lot of information that you could have gained from Corfon, that was missed, but there's a lot of information that you can still get while you're here.
Alright.
But Sunn would basically be taking a few steps forward, trying to get it in better distance, to get a better view of it.
So I'm going to take a second. If a distance, you want to know the distance? 110 miles.
God bless my eyeballs.
That's a big-ass cathedral, then, if we
I can see
that.
farther than the horizon.
It's not the entire place. It's not the entire place. It's just on top of it.
It's
I
a
know,
flat
but
Earth.
Still.
It's a flat plane.
Now, Klaus, you're watching all the way around you, right? Like you're kind of taking everything in. Sunn and Ulhime are like gauging the distance. Jakob is like, he's just not feeling the earth right now. Something is odd about it. Deia feels like wholly out of her plane of good, right? Like everything feels off. Klaus, above the clouds that seem to be shifting above, because there's no real ceiling, or like there's no real like endless sky, right? There's a ceiling, and you can see the top of this place, like you're in some kind of a cave, a bowl with a lid. But the clouds are shifting, and the clouds actually look more like amoebus blobs. They're not moving in the way that clouds should, where they're all moving in one direction. They're actually going in all of their own directions. And that's when you notice that there's no wind at all.
So they're moving of their own volition, and they're not clouds. Not
Correct.
great. Can I roll a knowledge planes and see what the fuck's going on in this place?
Sure, you can
I'd
try.
like to do the same.
You can try.
Planes can't fly here.
And I'm still taking the negative, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a 26.
6.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see what I can give you. So what was your question exactly?
I just want to know if there's anything that seems familiar to me, either about the place we're in or specifically those cloud-like things. Just because that's the first thing on my mind at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, so man, this is a challenge.
Don't suppose I can go ahead and assist him with this, seeing as we both have arcane knowledge. Planes knowledge.
You can assist him if you'd like to. If you'd like to, you can give him a +2. If you happen to break a check, a knowledge check, planes, if you break a DC of, we'll say, 18 on a knowledge planes check, then you offer him a +4.
Sure. He's got the +4.
All right.
Okay.
Back up to 30.
That takes you to 30. Klaus, even or odd in your favor?
Well, if we had inspiration, I'd offer that too, but...
Let it go. Let's go with even.
Even it is.
Awesome.
Klaus. You were told before that this is a layer of the abyss. This isn't just hell, right? Like, hell is brimstone, sulfur, really terrible, burny things. This is more than that. It's like you're standing inside of one active pocket of cyst, right? Like a place that is living. You even begin to look around, and you see that there are ruptures in this quote-unquote earth around you, and there are large spires that look like enormous hairs. This looks like a plane that's living around you. It doesn't really look just like regular Earth or like it's a spot in hell. You begin to recall, you don't know where you know the knowledge, you don't know how you know the knowledge, but a while ago, Occipitus took a huge change. This place has changed a great deal. This whole place is organic, or at least it feels that way. Something happened about 50 years ago, and a celestial element came crashing down in Occipitus. This actually encouraged a variety of things to happen. This thing that you're standing on, it's more than just your basic, like, earth. It's more than just the sponginess. There are actual stones around here, and it sort of looks like rubble, but you note that all the rubble has some carving elements to it, like it was crafted as opposed to just dropped here. And when you pick it up, you get this sense of positivity that resides around this. Even in this layer of the abyss, positivity still lives here. You obviously don't know what it's about or what's happened, but there is some vaguely celestial aura that lingers. Is this place like a boil? Yeah, it's like a boil. It's a cyst.
So, just to conjecture about that a little bit, so, like, the rubble and everything is giving off an ethereal, good vibe, but all of the landscape, all the fleshiness, all of that, it feels inherently evil. So it's sort of like something evil is growing upon something that was once good and died.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna regret this, but I kind of want to look through my special eye and kind of discern what I'm looking at, because I feel holy in a place that looks definitely not.
Oh God, I'm so thinking this is going to be like him using night vision goggles in daylight, just white out.
So, Deia, it's not exactly what you think. Like, you obviously have been kind of like biding your time, biting your lip, discerning whether or not this is worth doing. This could very well blind you.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
But as you sort of like, you crack your eyelids and you let some of the light funnel in and you begin to allow your eyes to adjust, yeah, it hurts. It hurts a great deal. But amidst it, because this eye is destined to search out evil, there is a spire of darkness inside of your lens. It looks sort of like it's meant to detect, like, picture it like you're detecting heat, right? And inside of this overwhelming sense of darkness, there is a cold beacon of black, right? It's this cold beacon that emits right through the center, and you happen to be looking at the cathedral. The cathedral is the only thing that is preventing you from basically liquefying your left eye.
It's a beacon of light in the darkness,
Yeah,
so to speak.
definitely.
Interesting.
Now, Jacob, after the conjecture between you and Klaus, you begin to kind of look around, and you start to see that it's not that far off from your thought. Some of the earth here has wrinkles. Some of it has hair-like fibers emerging from it. You note that it's squishy. You can stamp down, and it leaves a visible, like, imprint in the earth. For this sake, for anyone who's interested, you will also gain a +4 to stealth and acrobatics checks.
Awesome.
So I take a -4 on those.
Yes, I saw what you were doing there.
Yeah.
All right.
Come with an idea. I'll be right back. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. You guys decide what it is you want to do.
If you guys ever look over at me, you're gonna notice that when I was trying to see what was going on here, that you'd notice the pain that came to me when I tried.
Dude, at this point, I'm shocked if you don't have smoke coming from your eye.
It's just it's coming out of the glass like it's hot.
Detective mode on.
But no, Jacob's going to turn towards Klaus, Ulhime, Deia, and Sunn, and with no wind and that foul, kind of fetid, heavy feel of the air pressing in against him, he's going to look at the others and go, "There's no way this is home. This is..." Klaus, I'm sure you can agree, this is just overall unusual. I mean, I have no idea what happened here, but I know that hell doesn't grow like this.
Could be that it's some kind of creature.
And looking off at one of the rough-hewn stones, Jacob's going to shake his head. This is like a pustule, a blister of evil growing on something that was once good. I mean, look around you. This isn't a natural landscape by any means. The flesh aside, this was something more. This was a land, an occupied land. Something was built here by knowing hands.
And I do know that that building, the cathedral over there, is something built by someone who doesn't quite fit in here. And I don't know if you guys have the same idea, but that's where I want to go.
Well, I
Sunn
haven't
already.
That is where we're intended to go.
Sunn's already been kind of taking a few steps forward. Way ahead of you.
Now, Sunn, this is, as you're taking these steps down, it sort of steepens off pretty quickly. This is terrain that is not regularly encountered by the likes of you.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. I don't usually walk on pustules.
Give me a climb.
No.
Do it anyway.
I can see it now. He's just like way ahead of you. Fuck you and everything.
With the minus
for.
With the -4, correct? So that would be. Ew. What? Oh, I wrong sheet, but doesn't matter anyways. There you go.
That's not great.
No,
that is not great. I need to know, Sunn. I need to know, particularly from your point of view. You're climbing down. You are focused on recording as much information as possible. And as you begin to find like a foothold for some of these things, your hand comes down and clenches into a spot that is particularly more damp. And it smells like sweat. As your hand falls into this, you feel something move beneath the surface. What would you do, Sunn?
Run back to my friends.
Would you panic?
Oh, hell yeah.
Give me a will save.
No.
Oh, you just grabbed it by the tape.
I can't find my... I think my level 10 sheet has disappeared.
Put his hand right into a sweat gland is what he did.
Hold on. Is this it? Oh boy. Okay, I'll just use my level 9 sheet for now. You said will save, correct?
Yes.
I don't like that with the -4.
I mean, you could be Ulhime or Deia.
True. Well, no, you could never be Deia.
Sunn.
You said if I have any good in my alignment, it's the -4, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Even or odd?
Even, because it's always on.
You gonna mute that? That has to be Sniper.
Nope.
Ronald.
Gotcha. So you said even or odd? What'd you pick?
I said even, because it's always odd.
Okay. Even it is.
Yes.
Sunn, in that moment, you let out a shriek. Just and you feel your fingers coming off, but you manage to hold on. You don't panic release in this situation.
Yeah.
As something moves beneath the surface across your hand from the right to the left, you feel it sweeping to the opposite side. What do you do?
So I basically have something on my hand.
I didn't say that.
I think there's something on my hand.
No.
Essentially, no.
Nothing is on your hand. It's moving beneath the surface of the skin that you're grabbing.
So
This-
it moved
Okay.
under your hand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I would push myself away, and then.
Okay, give me a reflex. This is good.
Sorry.
I like where this is
Sorry
going.
I don't like where this is going.
It's okay, it's spongy at the bottom. You won't hit the ground as hard.
I like where this is going.
Yes!
Epic failure.
Thank God. Thank God. You managed to push yourself out, and as your heel clips the rear side of this, like, ledge, picture it, it's sort of like a fold in the flesh of this flesh mountain that you have. As it clips, you feel your heels begin to kind of go over the top. You feel yourself starting to fall. You throw your hand out, and you manage to catch yourself. You're hanging now by a fold of what feels like damp flesh supporting your body up.